Hey guys, what's cracking? What is cracking? I hope everybody had a good Christmas, and yeah, hope you did. We've had some stuff going on, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into it because some of this stuff was not expected. Most of it was not expected, to be honest with you. Can everybody hear me? Hey, IG, how you doing? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll go. Okay, thank you. I am going to go ahead and get into it. Hey, Lisa, good to see ya. Just Roos in the house. But yeah, guys, we hope everybody had a great Christmas. I had a pretty good one myself. Me and my family are well. We're doing, we had a really good day yesterday, and thank you guys for coming over to the Lifeboat during the Christmas night and checking us out over there, and tonight also. We had some pretty good shows past couple days, so thank you for doing that. But so we're going to get into the space weather. Guys, listen, we had an unexpected geomagnetic storm hit just a few hours ago. Well, it was actually about, let's see here, 3, 6, 9, 12 hours ago. Now, we actually did dip into a G2 storm, okay? And you're probably wondering, well, how do you know that? Well, if you look here, guys, you can see where this is showing a 5 on the KP, which is a G1 level geomagnetic storm. Okay, what was that caused from? It was caused from a crack in our magnetic field when we got hit with space weather, plasma. Okay, so let me show you what's been going on here. Plus, right before I went live here, we just had an M2 class flare that caused radio blackouts. So all this stuff is happening, and we're also expecting another geomagnetic storm on the 27th. So yeah, we've got some stuff going on here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's actually happening. As you can see here, guys, these are the sunspots. Notice how most of them are on the north. Last week, a lot of them were on the south. I'm not sure if there's any kind of science behind any of that, or if it's just something that's happened, if it's a coincidental thing. I know that during certain times it is more common to see them in the north or in the southern hemisphere. I'm just not sure where we're at in that cycle. But right now you can see where all these are. A couple other, well, I think spaceweather.com reported a sunspot that grew really, really fast, a group of them. They had like 12 sunspots or cores developed behind a bigger sunspot in like 12 hours. And what it did was it caused destabilization, and it was causing things to start to erupt. So we had a filament erupt off the top of the sun here. But before we get to showing you that, let's take you over here and, well, let's just do it this way. So this is the German space tool here that I've been showing you guys. Again, this here on the KP is showing you 3-hour increments. Okay, it basically takes an average and it shows it. Okay, every 3 hours. We get a better and more accurate reading over here when we look at it on a 30-minute plotting. Okay, as you can tell, it did hit geomagnetic storms again in this first hour of the new day, first 3 hours. Be interesting to see how they plot this. Okay, I'm not sure if they're going to plot that at a 5 in a G1 storm, or they may not. But we did hit geomagnetic storm levels at least for a 30-minute time frame. Now, what's interesting is if you take it back some more here, and you go back to yesterday a little bit, let me show you what we were seeing then. See this? That's a G2. Actually pushing towards a G3. We were there for like 30 minutes. Wasn't very long, but we did stay in storm level quite a good amount of time there. And none of this was expected. We've been having some eruptions, but most of those were set to miss Earth, which is why I didn't come on and talk about it. Okay? And that's why I'm here now, because I think we need to talk about it if it's hit and wasn't expected. And that plasma, what causes that to be so significant? Let's take a look at that. Okay, what caused it to be so significant was the speed this time. Okay. First on the BZ, which is the angle that we talk about, right? The -6 that we look for. Look how long we stayed in -6 conditions here. You know, we're looking at 3, 6, like 9 hours. Okay. Then we went positive at a, you know, pointing north. And hey, what's up, Tommy? And we pointed north pretty far at a 10. Okay. Positive 10 there, like a 9 and a 10. But then we dip back down. Now this is a data dropout. This is normal. This isn't something we don't expect to see. This is perfectly normal. It's just it's a line of sight issue getting data transferred back. So don't think this is something crazy, because it's not. But we did dip back into the storm level again after we kind of come back out of it. At least the BZ went to -6 is what I mean. And that's probably what caused us to get a little bit higher KP again. But check out the speeds here. Okay, in the purple here. We got up to close to 750, I believe. Now, when you get up to 800 kilometers per second, that's 2 million miles per hour. Okay, that's fast. Just saying. And anybody that's here right now, guys, I'm going to say the YouTube-y things real quick. If you could, please share this out. I'm going to start, you know, try to do more consistent shows. Through the holidays, I don't typically do real consistent shows because everything's going on in everybody's life, including mine. And, you know, we do go live every night over on the Lifeboat at 8 o'clock, Friday through Tuesday, those 5 days. And we actually, Tommy stepped in, I think maybe even on both days, on Wednesday and Thursday this week, and did like a short little video, just wishing everybody, you know, Merry Christmas, and anybody needed help or whatever. But that's what we do. We try to stay on that schedule because we understand that people need help during these times, and it really, some of the hardest times are to deal with, are during the holidays. So, but just know, but please share this one out too. I would love for everybody to see, you know, my channel also, and to see what's going on here. But yeah, anyway. So if we move forward here, this is the our magnetosphere. Okay. What we're going to look at here, this is right now. So I'm going to hit play. This is the speed. Okay. You can definitely see waves of stuff coming in. Okay. This isn't ambient conditions. Things are kind of up and down right now. And I look for this to kind of stay the same for the next day or so at least. Probably, maybe even longer than that. This is density. Now the white is low density. The darker colors are high. So you're probably asking, well, wouldn't high density hit you harder? Well, yeah, it would if it could move the same speed. Right? And sometimes that does happen. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing a lot of white because of the speed. It kind of, thanks, Fagan, I appreciate you. It kind of pushes a lot of the particles out and causes the conditions around us to be a little bit less dense. But because our BZ, if I can take it back here, I'm going to just redo that real quick. Hold on. Because our BZ actually tilted south magnetically, okay, it allowed those particles to come in, even though they weren't that dense, but they were moving fast. Okay, so this is what I talk about a lot. You know, fast can cause geomagnetic storms. Density, high dense, could cause magnetic storms. When you get a combination of both, that's when you start getting into higher levels of storms. Okay, especially if the BZ has already went down to -6. So, anyway. So that's what's going on there. Now, this is magnetic pressure. I know everybody understands pressure. Notice how we had hardly any. Now, watch what happens. Actually, I'm going to pause. Well, it's moving fast enough. Watch it start to encapsulate our planet here. You can see it kind of circling around. You see little waves coming in. Earlier, during the height of the when we got to almost G2 level, we were completely surrounded by red. You couldn't see any space between the Earth and the red here. It was we were completely inundated with magnetic pressure. And that's, again, yeah. See, this says north and south. This is actually, you can't get a really good accurate position, but you can actually see how, what I talk about the north and south. See how we're tilted north here? So, you know, that's kind of what I'm talking about. And it allows because of that angle, it does allow things to get in easier when we're tilted towards the south. So, anyway, this is the, my friends, my Aussie friends, down under. This is their tool, right? This is the same, this is this in this version. This is very simple to see, very easy to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it. We're going to take a look at this because see how this is bouncing around? That's our bow shock, guys. Okay, and I showed you guys this before. When you see it doing this, you got to know that the conditions are fluctuating. Okay? We have to understand that. But yeah. But let's go ahead and take a look at this again. And so let's play it. Now this is on the 27th. We're not going to have too much time there because this hasn't been, that time hasn't happened. But watch the readings here. You see how we got low dense, but you can see the speed. So you're probably asking, why is our bow shock getting pushed out so far? Well, that's what we do. We get compression, and then we get rapid expansion. We get compressed, so we start pushing back, and when we start to win that fight again, this will shoot out pretty far, especially when the density isn't that high. And that's exactly what we see here. So we did have a crack open up. That's why we've had the geomagnetic storm. Okay? My guess is we're going to see some killer aurora from it. Okay, the tools are telling me that we're seeing aurora already, but I haven't seen any pictures. So let me show you the aurora, the forecasting models here. The one on the left is the northern hemisphere. The one on the south is, the one on the right is the southern hemisphere. And you're going to see some pretty intense stuff here. Okay, this is going to get pretty red up here. See that? And you're going to see it dissipate really, really quick. Okay? See what happens here? See it go down to almost nothing? But watch what happens again as the next wave of stuff starts to come in. It starts to increase again. See that? Do you know why we had that little jump there? That was that data dropout I showed you guys earlier. Okay? That's because the satellite was in a position it couldn't transfer data back. That's why you see that big, huge boom, and it kind of moved, right? It jerked, almost like it looked like it was buffering during the live stream. That's not what that is. It's just a data dropout. So, as you can tell, look here, guys. This is interesting because you see how the aurora is already down past our border with Canada? That means we're seeing aurora in the States right now. That's what that means. And my guess is this is going to stretch down a little bit further. We're going to start seeing this in mid-latitudes. So that means, guys, if you guys live out in Washington, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Northern California, Northern Nevada, all up through here, you might, if you guys are aurora photographers, you're probably already aware of this. If you're not, and you just want to check out some cool stuff, and you got a telescope, or you got some cameras, or maybe a good set of binoculars, you don't necessarily need that to see aurora, but if it's a little bit further away, it can help. But take the time, go outside and look at this. Okay, here in the next few hours as this rotates through, you know, and then down here too, guys. See how that's even touching the continental of Australia down here? Watch. See that? So that's the southern lights, and you know, it's the northern lights up here, right? And what that is it's that those charged particles exciting oxygen and nitrogen molecules, and it causes aurora, right? Those particles get excited, and when they're trying to go back to their ambient condition, what happens? They give off this light, these awesome looking lights, right? So, you're probably saying, hey, Wages, can you show me where and why and how this stuff happened? You know, why are we having this unexpected geomagnetic storm? Well, let me show you what I think it could be. Okay? I'm going to go back to the 23rd, and we're going to look at, this is SOHO. This is a satellite. We take this back here. You see this? This is Earth. SOHO's here, and it's always looking at the sun. It's about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are, but it's from our point of view. So if we go back here to the 23rd, all right, because it typically takes 2 to 5 days for these CMEs and stuff like that to get here. All right, so what's happened here, in my opinion, we caught a glancing blow from a CME. And let me explain. Now, I did a short, and I showed you guys this sun-diving comet right here, right? And we're also going to talk about that one object that did the loop, because that right there needs talked about. I talked about it over on Marfugel. I haven't talked about it here yet, okay? So let me pause this, and actually, I'm going to start that back up. Okay, so I'm going to stop that here. See this eruption here? This is what we call a partial halo. This is a black occulter disk. It's a physical disk on the camera on the satellite, right? So when you start seeing this haze look, halo looking stuff, that means it's either coming at us or it's going directly the opposite direction. We can't see what's behind this disk because it's a physical disk. It's a necessity because it has to block the main light of the sun, or we can't get a capture at all. I think this one here is the one that is probably impacting us right now. Okay, now we're expecting another one, and here, well, at least NOAA is saying that we're going to have another one early today. Well, here in the next couple hours, and it looks like they're going to be right, because what did I show you over here with the Aurora? Aurora is one of the best things to look at to see if we're actually having geomagnetic activity. Okay? So let me, this right there was that initial storm. Okay? That felt, if you look at the time frame, let me show you. Okay? I can show it to you. I can just say, hey, this is what it is. Look at the time frame. 12 UTC, right? On the 26th. So let's go over here to the KP here. Where is that? 3, 6, 9, 12. Right after 12 is when we start seeing these geomagnetic upticks, right? The storm levels. That's what happened there. Plus, guys, we had this M2 flare. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But, again, that's what caused it. But watch, remember I said this kind of just died off? But now they forecasted this. They forecasted this 2 days ago. They actually had us in there for G1 for 2 plot points here, but they've only got it at 1 now. Now, you know, this is not an exact thing, guys. They're up and down on this sometimes. A lot of the time. It's a very hard thing to try to forecast. But if we look at the Aurora again, watch what happens at the end here. See it upticking again? So they're forecasting. Plus, let me show you again. Our BZ is now down into a position to where it could allow this stuff to come in really, really easy. All right. Our phi angle actually flipped in the middle of this, which actually could give you another jerk, which is, I didn't even look at the time frame of that. Let's look at that. Now look, see our phi angle switched too. Right about the time this stuff started getting real intense. What's the phi angle? Well, it's the polarity of the solar wind itself. Okay? It has to be there. Right? But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious, people. Wow. Whoa. All right. Okay. People don't know who I am, do they? Oh my God. I tell you. But yeah, if they want to attack me, guys, let them. I don't care. Let that stuff through. If they're going to be making nasty stuff towards you guys, definitely get rid of it. But yeah, no kidding, Raven. It's just that time of year, man. I tell you, it really truly is. Anyway, I'm not even going to address it anymore. It doesn't even deserve any more breath, to be honest with you. But anyway, guys, we could expect some more geomagnetic storm activities, which is cool because we get to see more Aurora. Are we talking grid down stuff? Absolutely not. Okay, not even close. So you're welcome, VC, but it's not even close to any kind of grid down situation. We're talking G1 storm level, guys. This is the lowest storm level you can actually experience. I actually have the let me turn these things off because it'll slow us down. I have the scales here. Okay, so if we're looking at geomagnetic storm levels, a G1 storm, which is what we experienced, but we actually went into G2 storm level for a short amount of time. What you see here is what you would expect to see. A G1, weak power grid fluctuations. Basically, yeah, you're not going to notice it on the power grid, most likely. All right. Minor impact on satellite operations possible. Now, I have to address that for a minute, too. Okay. We had 42 satellites drop out of space during a SpaceX launch in between a G1 storm and another G1 storm. That is pointing and giving us really good data there and a really good idea that our magnetic field is weakening. Nobody denies that, okay? Not even mainstream. But they've launched in this condition multiple times before, so why, a few months back, did those satellites fly out of the sky? Well, typically, the way I look at it, it's got to be the weakening of our magnetic field. Nothing else was changed, okay? And I'm sure there's some really, scientific reasons for all that, and maybe it was just one of those perfect storm conditions. But it happened like a week later, too, to the other company that shoots rockets in the sky for satellites. They lost satellites during launch during a G1 storm. So, guys, I'm telling you that two of those are that close together, it's not a coincidence. All right? I just have a really hard time thinking that it is. I would imagine there's a lot of people way above my intelligent level that is looking at that. So, when you drop 40 satellites out of the sky, that's a lot of money. All right, they don't want that. New England, I'm going to address that real quick. That's a very, very good question. I'm not sure if that even showed up. Did that show up on the... Let's see if it did. Yeah, it did. Okay. I'm trying to put that up there when you guys come up with when you guys have a really, pertinent question that you're asking me here. I'm sure you guys can read that. Says, can solar weather like this cause psychological effects on people like anxiety and depression? Absolutely yes. There is so much science behind that now. How serious is this? Not very serious right now, John. Okay? It's not like a grid down or anything like that, but this can affect your mood. This can affect you physically. Okay? Understand this. It really can. It can affect you physically in a serious way sometimes during the bigger ones, especially if you're having very serious health issues already, especially with like your heart and all that. Yeah, Ron, it's serious in the way that I want everybody to get the information, but we're not talking about grid down or anything like that. If that's what you were thinking, John, it's nothing like that. But this is newsworthy by far. And I'm glad Ron said something too, because guys, this is one of the things we see with these things is an uptick in earthquake activity. Go check out Ron's channel, guys. He does some really good earthquake stuff over there. So please go check him out. Ron, feel free to drop your link, bud. Anyway, but this will cause an uptick in earthquakes a lot of the time. So if we look at USGS, there's not a whole heck of a lot like big ones right this second. But a lot of times what we see is this energy comes in, right? And it gets in through like the global electric circuit and it gets into our system. Guys, energy in means energy out at some point. Okay? There's no other way that it works physically. Okay? And by a physics standpoint, energy in is energy out. Just saying. So however that energy comes out, you know, and, you know, we've been having issues with volcanic eruptions and earthquakes anyway. You know, we had this was a 6.2 Northern California the other day. We've had the bigger ones out here towards Cascadia. We've had the ones that were causing tsunami stuff over here, right? I'm not the earthquake guy, right? But I'm going to point you to people, and I say listen and watch everybody. I think that's the only responsible thing to do, and make your own decisions, okay? You'll fall into a place where you're comfortable and, you know, you understand things. You know, I understand that a lot of people aren't going to like listening to what I have to say. So, you know, they don't stick around. But they can still get good information going to some of the other channels. And I always support that. So just understand, I think everybody should listen to everything. And then, you know, guys, you're smart. Don't think you can't understand it. If my hillbilly, redneck, whatever you want to call me, can understand any of this, I promise you can too. I promise you. So anyway, let's go ahead and move forward here with this. So this is that. I do believe that that's what we're experiencing now. Let me back that up. I'll show you guys that sun diver again real quick. Okay, those are always neat to see. All right, here we go. I'm trying to get it back there. Sorry. I guess I could have just put it in reverse and started it. Okay. Oh, come on. I thought I was closer to it than that. There it is. See it right here? Watch that little, that's the sun diver. And it's going to go towards the sun. So let me hit next. I'm going to hit start. I'm going to hit slower too. Okay. So we're going to start that. And then we'll reverse it a couple times. Okay, watch it over here. Forward. There it is. Okay. So that's another sun diver. That's something that this satellite's really good at catching. Okay, this thing has caught thousands of them since it's been up there. And it does feel like we're kind of in a more dirtier part of space right now too. And there's a lot of science behind that, you know, with like the galactic current sheet bringing some dust our direction. Yeah. And I know Ben Davis over at Suspicious Observer talks about that a lot. Go check that out. I would if I was you. There's a lot of good stuff there, so please go check that out. And it, you know, talk about the dust and what that dust can do. It's going to play a major part in any kind of large catastrophe. I'm not going to get into what that is, but he talks about that a lot over there too. You know, it's like micronova stuff and things like that. You know, I think even mainstream science, whether somebody wants to say we're in a magnetic excursion or a complete magnetic pole flip, there is a difference between the two, but essentially the results are kind of the same for the immediate time. Okay. But I do think that's what's causing our magnetic field to kind of weaken. We're going to see our poles come closer and closer together, and eventually it will flip. All right. And then, you know, what happens after that? Again, yes, there's some really good science behind it, and they got a pretty good handle on what they think might happen. But I have to be honest and say this. None of us have been here for any of that. Ever. Okay? Nobody has physically wrote down what happened during one of these events. Right? Because it's in a thousands of years cycle. So, yeah. You know, we think we have a pretty good idea of what could happen, but we're not 100% positive. You can't be. It's impossible. But you can have a really good idea. So start listening to everybody and make your mind up what you believe. Or could happen, or what have you. Okay. So, oh man, I turned off SDO. Didn't mean to do that. What do I got here? Oh, that's the geomagnetic storm levels. We don't need that anymore. Geoelectric. This is different. This is what we look at. They're tying space weather to how to forecast earthquakes, because it does affect it, okay? And I talked about that a little while ago. But watch what happens here. We're going to see a little uptick. Actually, I'm going to refresh this and see what we got, like current here. And you're going to see this kind of bump up. Okay? See that? So that's more energy in. It's showing you right there what's going on. Now, that wasn't real intense, okay? But it is extra energy. So, yeah. Let's go. I'm going to take you guys to SDO because I want you guys to be able to see the flare that happened, the M2 flare. We'll go ahead and take this back to the, let's take it back to the, let's just go back to Christmas Eve, okay? So if I submit that, this is the 304. Okay, I want you guys to pay attention to what you see in here. You see those dark shadows firing off there? That's plasma. Look how much of it's firing right now. You seeing all that? This is a 3-day loop, okay? And watch this sunspot right here on the end. Watch what happens with it. Right about there. You see that? You didn't see it very well, but it was there. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll take it to here, and this is the flare. Okay, that M2 flare came from there. Let me change the angstrom of light, because you're looking at the 304 angstrom of light. That's all you're seeing is a specific part of the light spectrum, because it sees ionized helium right there. And that's what we were trying to see. Okay, it gives us a good idea visually what's going on when we can look at specific things. So let's take a look at the 131, and this will show us the flare really well. Okay, I'm going to pause it and just take it over here. All right. Okay, so there's your flare. Now I know it looks like an X pattern. That is not an X flare. It's just the way the camera interprets the flare, the light. See that? And it did look like it erupted a little bit too. Now, whether or not that comes our way, that's a whole nother discussion. Okay, are we back, guys? Sorry about that. Somebody give me a hey, nay, or whatever. Are we good? Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to do that to you. I have a hotkey on my keyboard I need to change, and I keep forgetting to do it. So, anyway. Alright. So, here's your flare. I'll show it to you again because obviously you guys didn't get to see it because I hit the stupid button. Right there. Okay, see it there on the left here? Okay, so there you go. Glitch in the matrix. Yeah. Cool. All right, so there's that. Now, again, guys, you know, is this stuff going to hit us? I really can't say. But I do want to take you guys back here. And let's go back to, well, I'm here. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Let's take you, no, I wanted to go to seeds. Sorry about that. Let's take you to the 20th, I believe, is when that happened. Yeah, let's take it back to the 20th. Pretty sure. Yep, there it went. Okay. I want to show you this object, and I'm going to explain what's going on here because this is something we should not be seeing. All right? We should not see anything come into frame, do a 180, and head the other direction. That's exactly what we see. So let me, I want to slow this down. Let's pause it. Okay, so watch over here. There it went. I know I was moving fast, but I'll get it back. Give me 1 second here. So watch here where my cursor is. Okay, you see that right there? That object popped in and did a 180 and left. So let me, I'm going to back that off so I can show it to you. And I know that I already did a short on this, and I'm not really sure who else reported on this. I think I see Mr. MBB3. I think Ben did one too. Ben Davison over at Suspicious Observer. He did a video on this. And well, I'm hearing the same thing from everybody. We shouldn't be seeing this. Okay? So watch what happens. Let's start it. I'm gonna reverse it slower and then go back forward again. So watch right here. See that? See how it does a 180? I mean, yeah. Wish I could just toggle through easier. Okay, there it goes. All right, we can do it like this. There it went. Okay. So it's right here. Watch how it comes in, gets brighter, and then does a 180. So why is this such a big deal? You guys see that? Because whatever's influencing that thing has a bigger influence on it than what the sun does. We see stuff come in like sun divers and gravers just loop around the sun in an orbit, right? This did not do that. Now, we can't tell for sure how close this is to the sun. Okay? I wish we could. But we can't. It could be closer to the satellite, and if that's the case, that would make that object smaller. But if it's out closer to the sun, it would be about the size of our moon. Okay? And to do a 180 like that, that's breakneck speed, guys. If any one of us was even sitting in like, because a lot of the explanations is UFO stuff on this. I don't pretend to even halfway know what this is. We're not ever going to know what this particular one is. Okay? But what I can show you, I'll take you over to LASCO C3 here in a second and show you what happened prior to that showing up. Okay? This is something nobody else has done for you guys yet. Not that I've seen. So I'm going to try to do that for you now. And we're going to go over here to ISWA and look at LASCO C3 because it's a wider angle of the same view. Okay? That should not... Yeah, Rip, you're right, man. It would have to the size of the Earth. It would be about the size of the moon, our moon, okay? If it was out by the sun. And the reason why I say that, we've seen Mercury and we've seen Venus, go across this view from this satellite before, and they're way bigger, okay? Just know that. So, it wouldn't have been like Earth size, but yeah. Now, VC, I don't think so. Let me show you what's going on here. And, I think, let's go to number 2 here. Let's find LASCO C3. Okay. What time frame was that? I forget. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so that was that. Okay, I remember now. It was on the 20th. Right around. So I'm going to change these dates real quick, guys. Okay, we're going to load this up. I'm sorry I didn't have this loaded before, but I was just trying to get this in, guys. I haven't done a stream in a minute, and I wanted to give you guys an update. So, let's go back to the 20th, right? And then we will, let's start it at, that's good enough, I guess. Let's just do it that way. Let's see what this gets us. We'll let that load, all right? It's probably going to load pretty quick because it's the only thing running on it right now. But as that's loading, I'll take you back over here to seeds. And so here that is again. See it? And notice how it gets brighter right there. That's it. Whatever's happening there it's reflecting sunlight. It doesn't mean that it's closer to the sun. It doesn't mean that it's further away. It just means that it's reflecting the light. So, but for that to make that fast of a turn, that's what got me impressed. It's not the fact that it actually did something like that, but the speed at which it did it. And if that thing is actually out by the sun, I just don't even know what to say. There's too much there for me to even try to talk about if that's the case. Okay? Yeah, I did that wrong. Okay. Let me take this to... Well, let's take it to 800. How about that? Or 8 o'clock. Let's go 0800. There we go. Let's just... Well, let's go 9. Alright, apply. Oops. You gotta love it when it does that to you. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I get it. It's not a value. Alright. Come on. Take it back there to 9. Okay, that's on the 20th. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. Back at you, E-Rock. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And let's go ahead and go forward with it. So I can get you guys to where that actually... Okay, so notice that this is a wider angle. Remember when I said that? So that means that we get to see a wider field of view. And it's going to be closer in here. Okay, you see this right here? That's it. Right there. So I'm going to back it up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit further for you guys too. I know a lot of you guys are probably watching on your phone, so I know it's probably hard to see, really hard to see. Okay, here it is. This is going to give you a better idea why this is crazy. Because the sun, if it's out by the sun, look what it did. See that? What in the world could cause that to happen? But check out, this is what people aren't showing you yet. Check out what happened right before. Okay, look at this. Right there, these are just charged particles flying through the air. Okay, that's what these are. They're flying through space. But look at this right here. I have no idea what that is. I don't. But it is interesting because it comes out of that same area. See right here? And watch it just appear right here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this again. And we're going to go to, let's just take it to, I don't know. Let's just go up here to and do 1800. We'll change this to 300. That way we get more frames in here. We can see more time. And I do think that this is this could show you guys some things because I've seen either a charged particle or some small meteorite shoot straight across the screen here. And again, it was just prior to that thing showing up. So yeah, is it related? I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. It's just really that, it's that simple. There's nothing I can say about it. I can't be definitive talking about it because I don't know what this thing is. Okay? What I can say is there was a lot of activity going on here. Trying to show you, there it went. See this right there? Okay, that was about 12 hours before that other one showed up. What I find interesting, the occult, it's behind the occulter. Okay, so it ain't like it was a charged particle really close to the satellite. Because you probably wouldn't see that. Well, you might, I guess. But it is interesting that that's telling you that that was actually something, because the occulter blocked it from being able to be seen right there. Whatever that was. I can't tell you exactly what that is. If there were any other situation going on here, I would just say, hey, that's a charged particle. Or maybe a small meteorite. But because of what we've seen after the fact, I can't definitively say that. So, as this thing shows up again, put my cursor here again. Okay, you first get like that, right? All this debris looking dust particle stuff. And then there that is. Let's see how long it takes it to get out of here. See? You can't even see it anymore. It's just right here. And I know, guys, that this thing is... Well, I guess it did. It went on out. It showed it. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to show you guys that, because I wanted to talk about that. I hadn't talked about it here with you guys live yet. I did do a short on it, but that's not a good enough explanation on what's going on there, in my opinion. But I did want to show it to you. So, anyway, guys, that's probably going to be it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pop off here. You guys got any questions or whatever, fire them at me real quick, and then we'll get out of here. But what I do want to say, guys, before everybody takes off, please come check us out over on the lifeboat. I can't say it enough that we're helping a lot of people over there. And if you get anybody in addiction or in addiction recovery, any of that stuff, you know, please come check us out. We won't judge you, I promise. It's just something we don't do, right? And this is the show we did tonight, you know, saving our world or our own community from addiction. It's a call-in show too, by the way. And also I would say go check out Marfugal. I'm sure you guys all know who Marfugal is. Most of you do. So, but I did want to at least bring that up too. But please come over here and check out the lifeboat. We're doing nothing but trying to do our best to help others. And here's a link in the live chat there. The link to the channel itself is actually in my description all the time. You know, and go check out Chase the Heat. That's Tommy's brother. He does it's all positive over there. He eats hot peppers and stuff like that. He's a pepper legend. But please go check him out too. You guys won't be, it's very entertaining. Scam Family, I don't know. Everything's possible in my opinion with that thing shooting across the screen right there. I'm not so sure that I would think that would be a laser, but it looked more like a charged particle, if I'm being honest. So, but please come over here and check us out over here. Just, you know, I just ask you to trust me to come check it out. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay, but please give us a shot and come over here, and because we're trying to help as many people as we can. If you don't understand addiction, if you don't understand recovery yourself, if you know family members that need help, you know, come on over. We don't judge ever. Okay. Just wanted to say that. So anyway, guys, we are going to pop off. I'm pretty sure Marfugal, Adam, and Dex, I'm not sure if are they doing a show tonight? They're probably going to go live 10:35. Am I live during? Oh yeah. Okay. I got to get off here. I'm sure they're getting ready to go live now. If they ain't already live, let's check it out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pop off. Please go over and watch Marfugal, okay, guys? God bless. Yahusha saves, and